أرحب فيكم جميعا أجمل ترحيب، شاكرا ومقدرا لكم تلبية هذه الدعوة بافتتاح الحديقة الوطنية باسم أخي سيادة الرئيس الذي لولا انشغاله لأراد أن يكون معنا هذا الصباح. I would like to welcome you all, and I would like to thank you for accepting our invitation for the Day of Planting Trees in Palestine. Today, you will be planting trees in the International Garden of the bigger garden, which is the Garden of Independence. This is in line with our celebration of our Independent Day, 15th of November, that has been declared in Algeria, 1988. And today is the real response for the American administration that wanted to legalize settlements. The Palestinian response is clear. And I want to thank all of you who explicitly stated that settlements are illegal, contrary to international law, and that these settlements should not only be not legalized, but should be uprooted because they are illegitimate and they are illegal. Between today and the end of the year, we have a few landmarks to watch. One is the formation of the Israeli government. Whether Israel is going to go into a third election or not, it will be clear very soon. But regardless, none of the competing parties has any political program to offer to the Palestinians for the end of occupation. The issue for us is not only settlements. Settlements are symptoms of occupation. And the main address for all of us should be end of occupation. And that is what we want to see from any new prime minister in Israel, to stand up and say he is ready, or she is ready to end the occupation that has occurred on the Palestinian people and territory since 1967. The second important landmark that we are watching is this American illegal, illegitimate declaration that settlements are not inconsistent with international law. And I am proud that the international community has stood steady to protect international law. And what Europe has said yesterday, Latin America, Africa, Arab countries, the whole international community, you are the guarantors of international law. And what the United States administration did was a shock wave to the international system, to the international order. Whether Trump is going to divert attention from his impeachment problems, or whether he is addressing his constituency preparing for next elections, or he wanted to support Netanyahu as his ally, regardless, any of these payments should not be made with Palestinian currency. It should not be made at the expense of the Palestinian rights. It should not be made at the expense of the peace process that has been designed to end occupation. All what the American administration is doing is fully and totally eroding the basis of peace process. We and the Israelis agreed that refugees and settlements and borders and Jerusalem are all issues of final status discussions. And we negotiated with the Israelis Jerusalem and settlements and borders and all aspects that has to do with ending of occupation. United States is unilaterally taking actions that does jeopardize all these agreements. And if the Palestinians are asked to respect any of these agreements, we do, but they don't. And I think we should, all of us, stand steady to protect international law, because this is a total erosion of international legitimacy. It is a shake-up of a regional security. And it is an attempt to destroy the foundation of a future Palestinian state. The Judaization of Jerusalem, the annexation of the Jordan Valley, using Area C as geographic reservoir for the expansion of a future Jewish settlements, and the total siege on Gaza. These are the four foundations of a future Palestinian state, which the Americans and Netanyahu are destroying every day. But we are grateful, even though the aggression is harsh, but your solidarity is important. Those who voted for the UNRWA mandate to be renewed was more by 10 countries, 170 countries who said yes to the renewal of the mandate of UNRWA. 165 countries has explicitly stated that the Palestinians are there for their right of self-determination, including in an independent state and so on. So while there is a more aggressive approach by two only countries in the world, the rest of the whole world is standing with us. Not only with us, but you are standing with your own principles, with your own ethics, with what you stand for, peace and justice and equality for all. And I'm proud of this gathering, that we are here not only about planting trees, but this is also, your presence here is a message of solidarity for the Palestinians, for international law, and for what we stand for. Just also to mention a few other things. I think that if we have to have a serious response of this American Aggression Act, we call upon all of you for the right moment now to recognize Palestine as a state on the borders of 67 with Jerusalem as its capital. Sweden did, the Vatican did, some parliaments in Europe did. Please transfer the will of your people into action and recognize Palestine as a state, as a response to what the Israelis are doing, destroying what is to be a state of Palestine, and what the Americans are doing, recognizing the status quo, trying to disengage legality from occupation does not make occupation legitimate. And I think we have to stand clear on this issue. Last point, I want to assure you that we are putting our house in order. Our president has called for elections. And I am happy to say to you that 14 Palestinian political factions has sent written letters accepting elections to take place soon. On Sunday, I was told that Hamas is going to send a yes reply to the president. And I hope that at the time when we are clearing this issue of Palestinian point of view vis-a-vis elections and Gaza, that all of you join us to put serious pressure on Israel to allow our people in Jerusalem to take part in these elections. The Palestinian-Israeli agreement, it does allow Palestinians of Jerusalem to take part in these elections. They did vote in 1996 elections, they did vote in 2005 elections, and they did vote in 2006 elections. And I hope in the 2020 elections, our people in Jerusalem will be able to make it. Your interference in this is important. Your readiness to supervise our election is more than welcome. And we call upon you to prepare the teams who did supervise our elections in 96, 2005, and 2006 to be ready for 2020. And I hope that we will be able to make it. It will be very difficult for us not to have Jerusalem part of the elections, especially at this time. So we hope that we join forces together for regeneration of democracy, the radiation of democracy, the renewal of legitimacy of the Palestinian institutions. That is very needed. We are your partners for peace and justice. You are our partners for the right of Palestinians to self-determination. And we are together for regional security. We are together for international law, and we are together, and you are here to help us not only plant trees, but you are here to help us build institutions on the road to building a state. Today we plant trees as part of the greening of Palestine. And the greening of Palestine, even though we would like to keep some mountains not ready for settlements, but always ready to be green, with the muscles of our laborers, whom we stand with great respect to them, in partnership with the municipalities, led by our Ministry of Agriculture, in full partnership with the Palestinian leadership who are present here today, the PLO, the government, the political factions. We stand all together, the governor, all of you. We are together for one thing, really, peace and justice. Help us make it. Thank you for your presence today. Shukran.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Dr. Mohammed Shtayeh.